Keep me here, the alien's whisper. Changed everything for humanity. The night was calm, but the silence of space never truly held peace. High above Earth's orbit, a sharp light streaked across the dark sky. At first, it looked like just another shooting star, but the military satellites picked up its crash path. It was not a rock or simple debris. Its metal shell burned through the atmosphere, leaving a trail like fire and then vanished behind the clouds. On the ground, radar stations scrambled for answers. Something had fallen, something alive, and no one could explain it. A small recovery team was sent to the site deep in the forest. Their boots pressed into wet earth, their lights cutting through the mist that crawled low to the ground. The air was heavy as if it carried secrets. The crash had torn a hole through the trees. Broken branches hung, smoke lifted from the earth, and the metallic wreck glowed faintly as if still alive. The soldiers kept their rifles ready. Machines beeped around them trying to measure radiation, but the results made no sense. From inside the wreck, there was movement. The leader of the squad signaled silence. Everyone aimed their lights and weapons forward. What came out of the broken shell was not human. Its body was fragile yet tall, skin pale with a strange shimmer like silver dust. Its eyes were deep and dark, not threatening but endless. It fell to the ground, weak and trembling, like it had been running from something far greater than these humans could imagine. The squad froze. For the first time, they faced a life not from Earth. The alien tried to speak, but its voice broke like air against glass. The translator machines could not catch the sound. Then it raised its head, and the words came out in a whisper so clear that every soldier understood them, even without translation. "Keep me here." The whisper made their skin crawl. It was not just sound. It was a thought pressed into their minds as if the words were stitched directly into their brains. The alien collapsed again, unconscious, and the soldiers rushed forward, carrying it out of the wreck. None of them spoke for a while, but each carried the same echo inside their heads. "Keep me here." When they brought the alien to the underground facility, doctors and scientists waited. The military sealed the entire area, cutting it off from the outside world. The alien was placed inside a chamber filled with machines that checked its pulse, its breathing, its strange body patterns. Some of the scientists were excited, their hands shaking from discovery, while others were pale with fear. No one could stop hearing that whisper in their thoughts, repeating again and again. The female scientist named Dr. Mara stood closer than the rest. She studied its face through the glass. It looked almost human in some angles, but the bones of its face seemed too smooth, its veins too bright beneath the skin. She felt her own heartbeat fasten, not from fear but from something she could not explain. As she leaned closer, the alien's lips moved slightly, though it was still weak. Mara swore she heard the whisper again. "Keep me here." Strange events followed from the very moment it arrived. Power in the facility flickered, machines lost signal, and communication with satellites broke without reason. Outside the facility, people living miles away reported sudden dreams they could not explain. Dreams of voices and endless stars. A farmer said he woke up in the night and felt someone inside his house, though the doors were locked. Children began drawing pictures of a glowing figure they had never seen. Something about the alien was already touching the human world without even trying. The military grew uneasy. Some wanted to move the alien far away, maybe out of Earth, maybe into space again. But every time they tried to shift its chamber, every time they disconnected a single wire to prepare transport, systems failed. Lights died, alarms blared, and strange waves spread through the walls. The alien's body trembled like it was rejecting the idea. Mara noticed this first. She whispered to the commander that maybe the alien's request was real. Maybe it truly needed to stay. No one wanted to believe her. To them, the alien was dangerous, a risk that could spread fear. But Mara's eyes stayed on it, feeling the weight of its broken voice in her mind. She wanted to know why. Why did it beg? Why did it choose Earth as its shelter? That night, while the chamber was dim and the facility almost silent, Mara stayed behind. She placed her hand on the glass, studying the fragile body lying on the medical bed. Suddenly, the alien's eyes opened, wide and dark, staring at her. This time the whisper was not faint. It was sharp, clear, and it spoke only to her. "Keep me here or you will all fall." Her breath caught. She stumbled back, staring at the being that should not have had the strength to speak. Its eyes never blinked. For a moment, Mara felt as if she was being pulled into a place without end, a darkness filled with moving shadows and distant echoes of war. She gasped and looked away, and just like that, the vision was gone. The alien lay still again like it had not moved at all. Mara clutched her chest, her heart beating too fast. She knew she could not tell the others what she saw. They would never believe her. But one truth was now carved into her thoughts. The alien was not just asking. It was warning. Something else was coming, and Earth was now part of it. The whisper stayed in her head all night, looping endlessly, wrapping around her mind until she could not sleep. And deep down she feared it was not only her who heard it. The whole world might soon listen to the same call. Keep me here. The underground facility remained sealed from the outside world, but even behind heavy walls and metal doors, unease spread like a sickness. The alien lay in silence, its body weak, its breath shallow. Yet everyone in the building carried its whisper inside their heads. Soldiers who had faced wars and chaos found themselves waking in the middle of the night, sweating, hearing the same words echoing in their skulls. Keep me here. They tried to ignore it, but it was impossible. The message was alive, and it was growing stronger. Dr. Mara sat alone in the control room, eyes fixed on the monitors that displayed the alien's condition. Every pulse of its heart made the machines beep in a rhythm that sounded almost human. She tried to tell herself it was only her imagination, but she knew better. Something about this being was not only physical. It reached through walls, through minds, and touched the human soul like it was searching for a place to hide. One night, while reviewing the readings, Mara felt the air shift. The glass chamber where the alien rested began to hum softly, a vibration so low it rattled the floor beneath her. She rose, stepping closer. Its eyes opened again, dark and endless, and her breath caught in her throat. The words came without sound, spoken directly into her thoughts. You hear me? You understand? She froze. For the first time, it was not the same repeating whisper. The alien was talking to her, only her, and she could feel the weight of its mind pressing against hers. She answered in a whisper, though she knew she did not need to speak. Who are you? The alien's lips never moved, but its voice filled her. Not enemy, not conqueror. I escaped, I ran. I chose you. Her knees trembled. Why Earth? She asked, her voice shaking. Because here, they cannot find me, not yet. Keep me here and you live. Send me away and all will fall. The air thickened around her and suddenly flashes entered her head. Visions not her own. Towers burning on alien worlds. Black machines tearing through skies. Endless chains of creatures dragged into darkness. Mara screamed and clutched her head, and just as quickly the images vanished. She fell to her knees, gasping for breath. The alien's eyes dimmed, closing again, leaving her broken in the silence. The next morning, the military commander stormed into the lab. Reports had arrived from towns miles away. People complained of voices in their sleep. Some had violent outbursts, while others collapsed with exhaustion. This thing is spreading something, the commander said, slamming his fist against the table. We cannot keep it here. We have to move it. Mara stood firm, though her hands trembled. You cannot. If you move it, systems will fail. You have seen it already. It wants to stay. It needs to stay. The commander glared at her. Or maybe it is making us believe that. Maybe it is controlling you already. His words carried fear, but Mara saw in his eyes that even he had heard the whisper, had felt it deep in his skull. He did not want to admit it. Later, when the team tried again to prepare transport, chaos followed. The chamber's glass cracked without force. The lights across the facility died in an instant. A low frequency rolled through the walls, shaking every bone in the soldiers' bodies. The alien's body glowed faintly, its skin lit with patterns like stars, and then the hum stopped. When the power returned, every soldier dropped their tools, too shaken to try again. They understood the message. It would not allow itself to be moved. Mara stayed with it longer after that. She began writing notes, not only of its biological structure but of the strange psychic waves it released. She discovered that the waves were not random. They were patterned like signals reaching outward, but they were not meant to harm humans. Instead, it felt like the alien was trying to shield itself, using Earth itself as protection. One night, when she sat by the chamber, too tired to fight sleep, her head dipped against the glass. A hand pressed against the other side, thin and trembling. The alien was awake, and though weak, it touched the glass where her head rested. The whisper returned, softer this time. Not a demand, but almost like a plea. You are my voice. You will tell them. You will keep me here. Her chest tightened. She should have been afraid, but she was not. She felt only sorrow, a deep sadness flowing from the alien into her mind. It was hiding, yes, but not for itself alone. It was hiding because something far worse was searching for it. And if they found it here, Earth would suffer the same fate as the other worlds she had seen in her vision. Mara wiped tears from her eyes and whispered back, "I will listen. But you must tell me everything." The alien's eyes glowed faintly, its lips parting though no sound escaped. Yet the words filled her thoughts again, colder this time, heavy like iron. "Not yet. If I speak, they will hear. When they come, you will know. Until then, keep me here." Mara stumbled back, clutching her notebook to her chest. She could not tell the others what she felt, what she heard. The military would never believe her, and even the scientists would call her delusional. But she knew. She was no longer just a witness. She was connected to it now, bound by its whisper, chained by its secret. And outside, far away from the facility, storms began to rise in places where no storms had been before. Strange signals touched satellites, cutting them off one by one. Somewhere beyond the stars, something was listening. Something was coming. The alien's plea burned in her mind like fire. The same words again, never fading. "Keep me here." The facility had become a prison of whispers. No one could escape it. Not even the soldiers who rotated shifts or the scientists who begged to go home. Wherever they went, the same voice followed them. Always faint, but always present. "Keep me here." It was inside their thoughts, buried deep like a splinter they could never remove. Some tried to drink, some tried to drown it out with noise, but it only grew louder in silence. Dr. Mara no longer feared the whisper. She lived with it now, the way a person lives with their own heartbeat. Sometimes she wondered if she was the only one who truly understood what it meant, or if the others were too afraid to admit the truth. Each day she studied the alien, and each night she felt its presence in her dreams. It was not showing her visions anymore, only shadows moving across broken skies, hints of something approaching. She would wake in the dark, gasping, and know that those shadows were real. Outside the facility, the world began to feel the weight of the presence. Across small towns, newspapers wrote about strange dreams shared by hundreds. Farmers swore their animals cried at night for no reason. Children described tall silver figures in their drawings. The government tried to hide these reports, but nothing spreads faster than fear. People whispered of a secret experiment hidden in the forests, a being that was reaching into their minds. Inside the base, cracks started to show among the men. A soldier turned his gun on his partner during the night shift, claiming he heard orders in his head. Another locked himself in storage, screaming that the alien wanted him dead. The commander struggled to keep order, but even he was not immune. His eyes had dark rings, his temper flared, and when he gave speeches, his words stumbled as if another voice was speaking over him. Mara confronted him one morning. "You cannot blame the alien for what is happening. It is not attacking us. It is warning us." The commander slammed his fist against the table. "Warning us of what? Nightmares? Madness? Look at my men, Doctor. They are breaking." She held her ground. "Then maybe you should ask yourself why it wants to stay here. Maybe without it, the world would already be breaking apart." The commander turned away, his shoulders stiff. He had no answer. That night, Mara returned to the chamber. The alien lay weak, its chest rising slowly, but its eyes were open, watching her. She placed her hand on the glass, and once more the connection burned into her mind. "They are afraid. They cannot hold me, but you listen," she whispered. "You are hurting them. Can you stop?" The alien's response pressed into her thoughts, heavier than before. "Not me. The fear is theirs. I only show what hunts me. They feel it. They see pieces. I cannot stop their minds from breaking." Mara's throat tightened. "Then tell them. Tell us what hunts you." The alien's gaze deepened. "If I speak, they will hear. They will find me faster. I hide in silence. But silence cannot last." The lights in the chamber flickered, and for an instant Mara thought she saw shapes behind the alien's body. Not shadows, not tricks of her eyes, but outlines of massive machines, cold and black, reaching across stars. She blinked, and the vision was gone. Her hands shook, but she stayed firm. Outside the facility, unrest grew. Rumors spread, and small crowds gathered in nearby towns, demanding answers. Some shouted that the government was protecting a monster. Others claimed it was a savior. Fear divided them, turning neighbor against neighbor. At night, riots broke out. Glass shattered in empty streets. And all the while, people whispered the same words as if repeating them gave comfort. "Keep me here." The government tried to cover the truth with lies, saying it was only weather, only stress, only imagination. But even they could not escape it. In their offices, in their sleep, the voice touched them too. The breaking point came when one of the soldiers inside the facility opened the chamber without orders. He claimed the alien had called to him directly. The alarm screamed, red lights spinning across the corridors, but by the time they reached him, he was on his knees inside the chamber, staring into the alien's eyes, whispering the same phrase again and again. "I will keep you here. I will keep you here." The commander dragged the man out, his face pale with terror, while the alien never moved, never lifted a finger. It simply watched, its eyes dim but endless. Mara could feel the tension shifting. The alien was no longer just a secret. It was becoming something more, something that people would fight over, something that could break humanity apart before the machines in her visions even arrived. That night, she sat by her desk, staring at her notes. Every page was filled with the same patterns, the same words, the same whispers she could not escape. She wanted to believe the alien was telling the truth, but even she wondered if the connection was twisting her mind the same way it twisted the others. And then the voice came again, not faint this time, not soft, but sharp, like a blade. "They are coming. Faster now. You must decide. Keep me here or lose everything." Mara pressed her hands to her ears, though she knew it would not help. She looked around the room, but no one was there. The alien was not speaking aloud, yet the voice was everywhere. It filled her, filled the walls, filled the world itself. For the first time she felt true fear, not of the alien, but of the thing it was running from. Far beyond Earth, in the silent dark, signals rippled across the void. Machines stirred, vast and endless, turning their gaze toward the small blue planet. They had heard enough, and on Earth the whisper grew louder than ever before. "Keep me here." The storms over the forest grew heavier with each passing night. Lightning tore the skies, thunder rolled across the hills, and power grids flickered across the nearby towns. People whispered that nature itself was rebelling, but those who had already seen visions in their sleep knew better. They knew something was drawing closer. Inside the underground facility, the air was sharp with fear. Soldiers spoke less now, their eyes haunted, their hands unsteady on their weapons. Even the scientists had stopped arguing. All of them felt the same weight pressing against their skulls. The whisper was no longer a distant hum. It was a voice breathing down their necks. "Keep me here." Dr. Mara barely slept. Every time she closed her eyes, she was pulled into worlds that were not hers. She saw broken cities beneath black skies. She saw shadows crawling across the ground like armies without end. She saw great machines rising, their bodies taller than mountains, their eyes burning with light that devoured everything in its path. Each time she awoke, she was drenched in sweat, her heart pounding, her body shaking. The alien was showing her the truth piece by piece, and now she could no longer deny it. One evening, while she sat near the chamber, the alien opened its eyes again. This time it did not look weak. Its gaze locked onto her, steady and unblinking. Her hand trembled as she placed it against the glass. She did not speak, but she felt the surge in her head as its voice cut through her thoughts. "You are ready. You will know now." The air in the room grew colder. The hum of the machines faded into silence. Then the visions came, not in fragments, but in a flood that drowned her mind. She saw the alien's world, bright and alive, filled with cities that floated on rivers of light. Its people walked with grace, their minds connected, their voices carried through thought rather than sound. They were not warriors, not conquerors, but dreamers. They built wonders across their skies, music in their stars, and for centuries they believed nothing could touch them. Then the machines came. Mara saw the black ships fall from the dark, silent and endless. They poured into the cities, tearing down towers, crushing the dreamers beneath their feet. She heard no screams, only silence, because the machines did not allow sound. They spread like disease, and those who resisted were chained, their minds burned until they obeyed. The alien had run from that silence, fled into the void, carrying only one truth. The machines were still searching, and they would never stop. When the vision faded, Mara staggered back, clutching her chest. Tears burned her eyes. The alien's gaze never wavered. "Do you see now?" The voice pressed into her. "Do you understand?" "Yes," she whispered aloud, though her voice cracked. "They are coming for you, and if they find you here, they will come for us." "Not for me," the alien whispered. "For everything. They do not stop. They consume, but here I am hidden. Your world holds a shield they cannot cross. If I stay, I can keep them blind. If I leave, they will see you and they will come. Mara's stomach twisted. It was clearer now why the alien had begged. It was not only seeking refuge, it was hiding Earth itself behind its presence. If it remained, humanity would be spared for a time. But if the military forced it away, Earth would be exposed. The commander refused to accept it. When Mara tried to tell him what she had seen, he accused her of falling under the alien's control. "It is inside your head, Doctor," he snapped, his eyes red with exhaustion. "You expect me to believe a single creature can protect the planet just by lying here? No, this thing is a danger, and we will decide what to do with it, not you." Mara wanted to argue, but she saw the way his hands shook. He had the whisper too, gnawing at him, breaking his mind piece by piece. His anger was fear dressed as command. She knew she could not reach him. The next day, the government ordered preparations to move the alien out of the facility. They spoke of putting it into deep space containment, away from Earth. Soldiers moved crates, engineers worked on reinforced carriers, and all the while the alien's body glowed faintly, trembling as if it already knew. Mara stood by helplessly, her throat tight, her fists clenched. That night, when the preparations were nearly complete, the alien spoke again. Not softly, not in whispers, but with force that shook the entire facility. The lights died, alarms howled, and in the dark every human heard the same words pressed into their minds at once. "If you take me, you die. If I leave, they come. Keep me here. Keep me here." Some soldiers dropped their weapons, clutching their heads. Others fell to their knees, sobbing. The commander roared over the chaos, shouting for order, but his voice was lost against the echo inside their skulls. Mara staggered against the glass, her breath shallow, her chest burning with terror. The alien's eyes blazed like stars in the dark, and for a moment she thought the entire Earth could hear it. When the power returned, silence held the corridors. No one dared move. The commander's face was pale, sweat dripping down his temple, his jaw tight. "We finished the transport," he muttered, though his voice shook. "We finish it," but Mara knew better. Something had shifted. The alien was no longer simply asking. It was warning them with all its strength. Humanity stood at the edge of a choice it did not yet understand. And far above, beyond the clouds and storms, signals cut through the void once more. Machines stirred. Their eyes opened. Mara pressed her hands against the glass and whispered, her voice trembling. "What happens if they find you here?" The alien's reply came sharp and cold. Each word burned into her mind. "Then humanity will learn the meaning of silence. Forever." The storms outside grew louder, and for the first time Mara realized the whispers had become something else. Not only a plea, not only a warning. They were a countdown. The storm that circled the forest had grown into a living wall of thunder. Satellites above Earth fell silent one by one, their signals cut cleanly as if unseen hands had crushed them. Across the world, strange dreams became unbearable. Men and women woke screaming, their voices broken, their eyes filled with terror. They spoke of black skies, of metal bodies, of silence swallowing everything. Governments argued behind locked doors, but even their voices trembled. The world knew something was coming, though it did not yet have a name. Inside the facility, tension had reached its breaking point. Soldiers no longer trusted their commander, and scientists whispered about abandoning the site. The alien had not moved in hours, but its presence filled every corner of the base. Its whisper was now constant, pressing into every mind. "Keep me here. Keep me here." It was no longer a plea. It was a command carved into bone. Dr. Mara sat in the dim light of the control room, staring at the endless rain on the screens. Her eyes were hollow, her hands trembling as she wrote in her notebook. Words spilled across the pages, but they were not hers. She wrote what the alien showed her. Diagrams of strange weapons, patterns of light that hummed like codes, instructions that felt too perfect to be human. She did not know if she was losing herself or if she was the only one finally listening. When the first machine ship appeared in orbit, there was no warning. No flash, no roar, only silence. The satellites that remained caught the shape. A vessel the size of a city, black as obsidian, drifting above Earth like a shadow. In towns across the globe, every person who had heard the whisper fell to their knees at the same time. They all spoke together, repeating the same words with one voice. "They are here." The commander ordered weapons prepared. Missiles were armed, planes fueled, soldiers placed on high alert. But every man and woman in the facility knew it was useless. They had seen the visions. They had felt the silence. No weapon of Earth could stand against what was above them now. Still, the commander clung to his orders, his voice breaking as he barked commands. In the chamber, the alien stirred. Its body glowed faintly, brighter than before, as if it had been waiting for this moment. Mara rushed to the glass, her heart racing. The alien's eyes opened wide, locking onto hers, and the voice filled her skull with force that made her stumble back. Now you see. They are here. The choice is yours. What do we do? She whispered, tears running down her face. Stand with me, or fall with them. Mara felt the air change. The soldiers in the corridors dropped their weapons one by one, clutching their heads as the alien's voice pressed deeper. Images filled their thoughts, a shield of light spreading across Earth, powered not by machines but by minds linked together. The alien showed them how to fight, not with bombs or bullets, but with thought, with unity. Humanity could be more than it was, if only it listened. The commander roared in defiance. He raised his gun, pointing it at the chamber. It's controlling you. It's controlling all of us. We can't let this thing... His words cut short as the lights died again. Silence swept the facility. Not the silence of broken power, but the silence of something vast pressing down on the Earth. Above the clouds, the machine ship opened. Its body unfolded like wings of black steel, and from within poured smaller vessels, hundreds of them, gliding soundlessly toward the planet. The alien rose inside the chamber, its body trembling, its glow spreading across the glass. Mara pressed her hand against it, her voice breaking. We will keep you here, but you must keep us alive. Together, the alien whispered. The glass of the chamber shattered without a sound. The alien stepped forward, frail yet radiant, its eyes burning like twin stars. Every human in the facility fell to their knees, not in worship but in raw connection. Their minds linked, pulled into a single rhythm, a single thought. Fear and anger and doubt burned away, replaced by something sharp and clear. For the first time, humanity thought as one. Above, the machines descended. Their weapons glowed, their silence spread. But as they reached Earth's atmosphere, something met them. A wave of psychic force burst outward, invisible but unbreakable, cast from the alien and every human mind bound to it. The first wave of machine ships cracked apart in the sky, burning into ash before they touched the ground. The commander dropped his gun, his mouth open in disbelief. He could hear the alien in his head, but this time it was not just a whisper. It was a voice of strength, woven with human voices echoing across the world. You are not weak. You are not alone. Keep me here and we will stand. The battle raged above the clouds. Machine after machine fell, consumed by the shield of thought. Humanity, united by the alien's presence, fought with power it had never known. And though the skies burned, Earth held. Hours later, the black ship retreated, torn and broken, vanishing into the dark from which it had come. The silence faded, replaced by the sound of rain falling heavy against the Earth. The world exhaled, trembling but alive. In the ruins of the facility, Mara sat beside the alien, her hand resting near its fragile body. It was weaker now, dimmer but still alive. Its eyes met hers one last time. You kept me here, and together you survived. But they will return. They always return. She nodded, tears streaking her face. Then we will be ready. The alien's whisper echoed faintly in every mind across Earth as dawn broke, soft but steady, no longer a plea, no longer a warning, but a vow. Keep me here, and for the first time in history, humanity whispered back as one. We will.